Hey everybody, this is John for MTG Nexus coming at you with some Grixis Death Shadow, the OG version. So we are playing some Street Race, no Lurrus of the Dream Den for Gurmag Angler. So we're back to kind of the old grinding version of the deck. As a friendly reminder, if you like lightning bolt based content, please consider giving us a thumbs up and a subscribe here on the channel. That said, though, there are no lightning bolts in this version of the deck. This is almost blue-black Death Shadow with a slight smattering of red for Temur Battle Rage and Royal Scions. You have the full 4 copies of Fatal Push here, as well as a couple copies of Dismember, a Drown in the Lock as kind of your interaction on the creature basis. You have 4 Thoughtseize, 2 Inquisition, and then 4 Stubborn Denial. The old package is back alive and well. So, for those of you not familiar with a Death Shadow strategy, this is a life gain, or life... What's up, Yeti? This is a life loss strategy trying to utilize the card Death Shadow, which is only effective once your life total is below 13. So to that end, you have a lot of fetch and shock lands in your deck. You have Street Race to cycle, and then Mistress Bauble is kind of a de facto cantrip alongside 4 copies of Thought Scour and 1 copy of Serum Visions. What this deck is trying to do is establish a quick threat on turn 2 or turn 3, ideally with Death Shadow or Gurmag Angler, and then use things like Stubborn Denial to keep your opponent off balance long enough to win the game. You use things like Royal Scions and Temur Battle Rage to push through damage against creature blocks, and overall you're just kind of a creature tempo deck that spends the first turn or 2 setting up their Death Shadow or Gurmag Angler, and then just tries to go to town from there. The overall strength of this strategy is it is very flexible and powerful. The downsides are you are taking a turn or 2 to set up usually, and the fact that you're obviously putting your life total at lower regions to enable your Death Shadows. You also have Snapcaster Mages here to take advantage of all your cheap spells. That's pretty much what the main deck is trying to do. The sideboard's usually a smattering of more permission or grindy value. To that end, we have things like Ether Gust for any type of red or green decks, so basically pretty good against the Primeval Titan or Burn decks. Disdainful Stroke for any type of things trying to cast big spells, so Yorion control decks, Tron, etc. Mystical Disputes, primarily for the Yorion decks. 2 copies of Collective Brutality, because, you know, Burn and Prowess are still a thing, even with the companions being banned here in a day or 2. Plague Engineer, pretty good against any type of creature-based strategies. Drown in the Lock, this is kind of from an older list a little bit, so we'll see how much graveyard nuking there is going on. See if this card's effective or not in this league. 1 copy of Ashiok, because it's nice to be able to diversify your hate against various decks. Another copy of Royal Scions, both in the grindy matchups as in the way to push through damage. Kuligan's Command, very much the same. This is very much your grindy value card, allowing you to rebuy threats and stuff. This is basically Lurrus before Lurrus was Lurrus. And then 2 copies of Damping Sphere, because we inevitably run into Tron, also decent against Storm and such. So, that said, let us see how traditional... Possibly. They're 2 different decks, though. Like, the Tarmogoyf Death Shadow variant's a little bit different than the GDS version. And I wanted to start out with the GDS version before we get into Tarmogoyf and Death Shadow and Traverse and all that. Because one of the things about that particular version, I think GDS is a little bit better at grinding than that version is. And I think the format's honestly going to evolve into a grindier format. I don't think getting rid of Lurrus is going to change what Modern has evolved into. This hand is risky because if we don't hit another mana source off of our 2 cards, then this hand is kind of but I guess we'll keep it. Guess we have 3 looks at another land. Opponent is Sven. Alright. Well, we'll see. There's a lot of different things that can go on, potentially. I think at this point I'm just going to do that and pass. All of our cycling and stuff we can do on the end step, which is fine. Not quite sure what our opponent's up to. Sure. Two on top, we did indeed scour them. Alright, I'm just going to pass here. Once again, not really a whole lot going on, so during their upkeep, we're going to go ahead and bobble them. Looks like we're up just up against blue-red control, which is see what our opponent has here. Archmage's Charm. Well, that one's going to be annoying. That's going to be a little bit rough to beat. So am I supposed to try to resolve my own scions here, or try to do something else? I feel like I'm supposed to try to resolve my own scions. That wouldn't have killed it, so I don't think it was worth it. Don't think we're going to need too many fatal pushes here. Might have been the best strategy just to pressure it and make our Royal Scions a little bit easier. The big problem is, like, a Death Shadow is kind of useless to us, both because our low total is at 13 and they have an Archmage's Charm. So this is going to be kind of a rough matchup. This is the one matchup, or one style of game we're going to miss having a bolts in our deck. Let's go ahead and push that while we can. Another lightning bolt. Okay. Sure. I think I definitely should have flashed in that snap. At least they wouldn't be threatening ultimate right now. Gurmag Angler, huh? Curious if they use the Royal Scions on the Gurmag Angler or if they use it on face. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and scoop it up. We're just too far behind this game. Our opponent's resources aren't the best at dealing with our threats, but we're so far behind. Ether Gust seems reasonable. Mystical Disputes seem reasonable. Don't think... Cards are not good. Like, we want some amount of fatal pushes for Thing in the Ice specifically. Like, honestly, our deck is generally okay set up against their particular thing. But because they were able to just slam that Royal Scions in with no Stubborn Denial in hand, just felt like we were inevitably behind. No, I don't think I really want to bring in the second Scions, because I feel like we're going to be facing Mystical Disputes down. Sounds alright. Get to use Bauble plus fetch land to see if we want to keep the card or not. I think we're in the market for wanting a second land. Sure. Fetch a Watery Grave here. Ideally, we'd love to draw like a Grimag Angler. So our island notably is in the graveyard, which is unfortunate against what could be a Blood Moon deck. Gonna grab my basic swamp here just to play around Blood Moon a little bit. Stubby D up. Maybe I was supposed to get another blue source there just to be able to maximize all of the lands in our, or all the spells in our hand. Yeah. Yeah. Just let the Searing Visions happen here. Snapping that off. This brings back good memories. could go for the win here. I just think we're supposed to hold up. Sure. Yeah, opt resolves. Sure. Sure. Okay. All right. I'll be right back. 1 second. Let's go the undertone. All right. Still think we. Thanks, Darius. This hand's awkward. I think we keep it because we have a potential fast Gurmag, but this hand really needs like a Thought Scour. Target ourselves. Bloodstained Mire. Swear to the Lord Almighty, I better not see another Bloodstained Mire on the top of my deck. Alright. At least we didn't have the Scry Bug thing that we had going on last night. That was getting agitating. A feeling we're gonna get hit by a thing in the ice here. Nope, just a Serum Visions. Thing in the ice would have been probably the worst case scenario for our hand. One, 4, 5, 6. Can I play an Angler this turn? 4, 5, 6. Brazen Borrower on top. That's annoying. So know they have Brazen Borrower in hand. Do we know anything else about their hand? I don't think so. I think we're supposed to try to snap Thoughtseize this turn. Royal Scions, Serum Visions, Lightning Bolts. Mystic Sanctuary. So are we priced into taking the Brazen Borrower here? Kind of a rough hand to beat, but I suppose we have a chance. Mage's Charm. Hopefully they just Serum Visions. Nope, looks like they're going for Royal Scions this turn. No, Scions is less of a threat when we know we can resolve a threat that could potentially kill it. Why wouldn't they loot? I'm confused. I guess they like their whole hand? Gotta be mindful of the bolt in their hand. Okay. have Spell Pierce in hand. Oh, what a friggin' annoyance. Sure. Grab basic island here. Spell Pierce is being supremely annoying, but we have to use this Stubborn Denial here, even though we know we're getting Spell Pierce back. Alright, so we're basically dead here. As long as our opponent main phases the Brazen Borrow, we're just dead. Or if they draw another land. At this point, we're just dead to Lightning Bolt, and I accept that. Yep. Two. Ah! Hey, what a friggin' match. Alright, let's make sure we tap the lands correctly. Black, black, black. Black. Black, black, blue. My dead? What's up, everybody? Woo! That was an insane match. I appreciate the optimism, Vincent. would have been about the luck for all that, right? Though, fight through all that and then get blown out by a bolt. Oh shoot! What's up, O'Doyle? That was... That was a match. Sure, opponent good luck here. His hand is awkward. Two, four. I think this hand's a mulligan just because it doesn't do anything. Like, if I hit a cantrip or a fetch land, this hand might be okay, but I think that's too risky. Now this hand has the opposite problem. I think this hand also is a mulligan. This hand's at least interesting, I suppose. Put back one of the denials and guess just both the denials and hope our opponent's on a creature deck. Could take the coward's difference and, you know, try to... I wonder if we're going to be in a mirror match. That'd be kind of funny. Nope. Definitely not a mirror match. I think there's either a stink bug or a moth in my room. I can't tell which. I think we're regretting putting back both the stubs, but what can you do? Gonna fetch to thin here a little bit because I really don't want to draw another land right now. Alright, Bobble's okay-ish. Let's grab a card to the top. Let's see what they got going on there. Arkham's Astrolabe. So, likely some type of Urza nonsense. Yeah, it just annoys me because you hear this like loud clanging around. You're just like, okay, what the heck was that? For something so big, they certainly seem to find their way in houses. Emery. Alright, fortunately we have a fetch land. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Engineered explosives. Oh boy. Or ensnaring bridge, I should say. We ain't got no outs to that in the main deck. That resolves the game's over. No, Witching Well definitely indicated that it was some type of Urza deck. Especially in conjunction with the Watery Grave. Ooh. Alright, so take Thopter Foundry. Leave them with a pile of nonsense for now. I wonder if they're going to cast a sword here. Yep. Well, no K command in the main deck. There's some on the board. I have one card in hand and we don't know what it is. How far down do I want to go here? I guess they're not representing Galblast. If we die to Galblast, we die to Galblast, I suppose. This at least puts them on a 2-turn clock. Yeah, for a mold of 5, this came together pretty decently, but that said, if they go land Urza, we're in a lot of trouble. Or land Thopter Foundry. Alright, so they have an Arkham's Astrolabe. Sure. It's probably their draw for turn. Please don't have a Fatal Push. God bless it, that thing's loud. Goblin Engineer. So you're dead? Yeah, that would have been... Well, okay. So... That wouldn't have put it on a two-turn clock, though. Wow, they are going hard on things. Fortunately, the thing they found is pushable, so... Snapcaster Mage... Alright. Whew. Alrighty then. Gonna get some mystical disputes up in here. Gonna get some Kolagon's commands up in here. Playing Engineer seems pretty good. Could conceivably bring in Ashiok. Could conceivably bring in the Drown the Locks. Problem is, they're like a really weird combination of cards. Like, between the Goblin Engineers and the Emeries, as well as the Urzas, I can't really board out much of my removal. I guess, like, Serum Visions, Snap. Walkers are kind of against that plan. Bringing in a pile of Kolaghan's commands just feels bad. I think if I were to go with a Delver hybrid strategy with Death Shadow, I'd probably go Delver, Death Shadow, and Sprite Dragon. And go from there. Sin is very interesting, and I think it could be very good. Depends on how our opponent's draw lines up. Problem is, we don't have that much yard hate. We had Ashiok. That was it. I don't know. I haven't... This is only like my second league ever playing with Royal Scions in League. Second or third, maybe. I keep hearing it, but I don't see it. Stink bugs, the bane of my existence. That and bees. Gotta do this before they can hit us with their best shot. Alright, so they have Dreadbore and Goblin Engineer. Take the Dreadbore. It almost feels like too many threats. Problem is, we're not going to be angled this turn. Most likely. What's up, War Dog? And FS Thoughtseize, I understand what you mean, but our only graveyard hate is 3 mana, and I don't think that's good enough. If we had some Nihil Spell Bombs hanging out, I would absolutely bring them in. Or, you know, some Leyline. Even Leylines are debatable in this matchup. Okay, there's the Engineer. They obviously don't expect their Engineer to live. Bobble. So I really want to get Gurmag Angler down, but do I really want to give them an untapped turn with Goblin Engineer? Like, the worst thing in their graveyard right now is a Mishra's Bauble. Like, Swords, whatever. If they have Foundry, if they found Foundry, More power to them. Said I'm taking a gamble here, but we did just Thoughtseize them last turn, so they've had 2 draw steps to hit something. Pretty sure their hand is Island, Tarn, 2 unknowns. Get a Mystic Sanctuary. That's a little rough because that means they can eventually put Dreadbore back on top. And we had a double way Thought Scour. Fortunately, we're losing Angler next turn, which kind of sucks. But I'm gonna go get the probably a Watery Grave here. Yep. Yep. The only question is, do they have a way to cantrip into it this turn? Their hand must be total garbage. I guess I could see them having like a Cryptic Command or something. Maybe they're just waiting for us to fetch to respawn. The reality is we've got nothing going on. Alright, Team Battle Rage isn't terrible here. I go for Battle Rage. This way, Snapcaster Mage is potentially lethal next turn. Alright, they're drawing Dreadbore, which is fine. They have Archmage's Charm. We're in a little bit of trouble. Or Metallic Rebuke, you know, all that kind of fun stuff. Wow. All right. I honestly don't know. If I ever get back in Legacy, I was going to look into Death Shadow, but not a format I've had a ton of time to look at of recent. I'll be right back. I'm going to get some water. Ah, there you are. So many swords around. You know what I find funny is, for those of you that have been around Modern for a while, do you remember when everyone said Death Shadow needed banned? I do. Pepperidge Farm remembers. This hand's great. We don't know what it has, but it's great. I'm against the Lurrus deck. Boo! Alright. Flooded Strand in... I am confuzzled, but also intrigued. The feeling we're up against some style of control deck, though. Yep, we're up against a Lurrus control deck. Omen of the Sea, Snapcaster Mage, and a Force of Negation. Well, then. I think we take Omen of the Sea here. Gotta be mindful of the Force of Negation. Yeah, a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Gemstone Caverns, too. Wow. Our opponent's got a spicy one over there. Even if it is a dreaded Lurrus deck. Wow. Okay. It's gonna cycle one Wraith for now. Might regret not taking that Force of Negation now. Oh boy. There is a Thoughtseize. Cycle Street Wraith. Grimag Angler. Temporal Mastery. Wow. Alright. So I'm going to stub this. we're not randomly dead to something stupid. Like, oh, I don't know, Path to Exile. Oh, dear. Well, the companion rule doesn't go into effect until tomorrow, I believe. Or sometime, I don't know. Sometime tomorrow, if I remember correctly. Really? Are you freaking kidding me? The only problem with K command is all of their removal is exile based. Like, I mean, if we mill something over with Thought Scour, great, but otherwise K command's just... eh? Alright, I'll bring in one. Why did I scoop? Because both of our threats were going to be exiled. And I would have had to draw an answer for Lurrus and then an answer for the Snapcaster Mage back to back. So I suppose theoretically there was a world that I could have come back in that game, but yeah. This hand's mulligan. It's just too clunky and does nothing. I think we keep this hand, but it's not like fantastic. Once again, the problem with Ashiok is you're trying to resolve a 3-mana sorcery spell against a deck with full of counterspells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still a little ways off here from resolving. Running out Snapcaster Mage here because, yes, I can flash back whatchamacallit next turn, but with double Ancestral Visions going on, we're not winning a long game, so... They path it, it's whatever. So another thing you guys have to consider, and I'm not making excuses for my decision, is the fact that as a... I'm about to get to Fairy, aren't I? Yep, maybe. We'll see. Nope, just Lurrus into Bobble. Okay. Keep forgetting they actually can't cast a fairy. They're just trying to stay alive until those Ancestrals resolve. So something you guys have to consider as a... Really? I'm cool if they have cards, I just want to choke them on mana. Sure. If you have Force of Negation, you have Force of Negation. Alright. Interesting little strategy our opponent has. Stroke suddenly has more value. These fatal pushes can go. Problem is we have so many 3-drops now. So anyways, back to the point I was making about Untamed is sure, I can grind through these matches if I absolutely have to, but a deck like Death Shadow has so many decision points in it that it's almost not worth fighting through all of that in a game you might have a 2% chance of coming back and winning, especially in a tournament that, or in a setting like a league. It's just not worth fighting tooth and nail every inch when your opponent just goes path your threat, snap path your other threat, and you're just like, I'm at 4, I'm dead in like 2 hits to anything, basically. This hand really wants a Thought Scour. Wisely not cracking their bauble until our turn. Optinomen. Do we take Omen? It's actually a rough one. Guess we take Omen. It gives them the most selection. Ancestral Visions. Alright, so we're on the clock. One, two. I don't think we fight over that opt. Certainly tempting. Why? Why would you show? Okay. I am completely confused. I guess so they can Mystic Sanctuary it back later? I don't know. I'm so confused. Supreme Verdict, Remand. One, two, three, four, five. Do I tap out for Angler this turn? So they either hold up Remand, put back Terminus on top. I think I'm just supposed to tap out. Certainly a risk, but we need a threat down. Counter spells here. Let's go put the Terminus back on top. Put Supreme Verdict back on top. That's unfortunate. Nothing we can do about that. Yep. What are they drawing? I'm drawing an opt. So, 2 cards in hand. We're gonna have to fight over this Ancestral, which is unfortunate. And we know it's actually going to resolve because of Remand. So am I actually supposed to fight over it or not? Yeah. Sure. Yep. Sure. What am I actually pitching here? Yep. 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 Why didn't they suspend? I'm guessing they just drew Ancestral Visions. Let's take Remand. Target player discards a card. Pitch Terminus. Maybe it's wrong to discard Snapcaster Mage here. All right. Sure. So they left a card on top and then concede. Beats me. Yeah, so true name is. I'm sure it is. Though I heard its stock got worse with the printing of Plague Engineer. So how's everyone doing tonight? I hope you're all having a great evening, as we're back to basically a reset Modern format, with companions due for a massive nerf here in the next day or so on MTGO, even though some players continue to stubbornly play on. Played against a Yorion deck last night that was using Yorion without the restrictions. Obviously, we just played against a Lurrus control deck, which quite interesting actually. Wish our opponent good luck. We're on the play. Opponent reveals a Lurrus. Well, aren't they just a stinker? I'm going to fetch Watery Grave. I don't want to go ham on life total yet until I see we're up against a burn deck or something. Nope, we are up against... Oh my. So... we are up against a Death Shadow variant. Swift Spears, whatever. I think it's between Dismember and Thoughtseize and Death Shadow. That's the old classic Thoughtseize or Thoughtseize. I think the format's too spread out for it to be a heavy counterspell build. Really would like another fetch land here. Thought Scour's not terrible. Thoughtseize is nice, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and fatal push this. Okay. So they get to cling to dust something. I don't think it actually particularly matters. If they're smart, they probably go after Fatal Push. Yep. Because that's the card that most blows them out if we have like a Snapcaster Mage. So their hand is currently Dismember, Death Shadow, 2 unknowns. Another Swift Spear. Drawing a Tarmogoyf. I think it basically nerfs everything but Urion in Modern, which I don't think is a good thing. Let's go Water's Goyf. So their last hand in last card in hand is a Death Shadow. However, they also have a Lurrus waiting in the wings. There's They can't currently cast, so I think my play here is to... What is my play here? Just play Gurmag Angler and pass? So if I fetch Shock, go to 2, then any spell kills us. I don't think I can afford that. This attack's a mistake. This turns on their Death Shadow. Now if I drew a bolt, we're dead. Alright, so do that. Okay, you have Death Shadow and 1 unknown in hand. We'll try to do a Space Predator. Okay. Lurrus into what? Don't think that's enough to keep you alive, friendo. That gives it first strike, right? No sense in... I don't think I really care about them knowing about this per se. So... called delay. I'm familiar with delay. Isn't that the one that suspends it for 3 turns? From Time Spiral. Oh boy. Variants of our opponent's deck definitely have some interesting cards. Assassin Trophies. Some Veil of Summers. Because he was dead. He quit because he was dead. Why did I bring in Collective Brutality? That seems foolish. Let's go down. Street Wraither 2. Bobble. TBR. And click Submit, just so we don't run out of time here. He quit because he was dead. Or she. I have a hand that has a bunch of Thought Seizes and a removal spell. I think we're keeping. Stubborn Denials ain't so great here. Oh boy. So if they have Veil of Summer, we're about to get blown out. But, you know. Teamer Battle Rage, Lightning Bolt, Death Shadow, Assassin's Trophy. Well, let's take your only threat. Okay, Bobble is their draw for turn. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and let that kind of happen. Do I? Don't think there's anything in their hand we particularly care about right now. So I'm just going to hold on to the Thoughtseize. Targeting themselves. I heard it through the grapevine, honey, honey, yeah. Opponent's got some raisins stuck in my head. Used to be like my favorite snack growing up as a kid was raisins. Swizzle Spear. Okay. Going to bolt me. Oh, that's a heck of some draws. Honey, honey, yeah. Really getting tired of not drawing another land. So their hand is Bolt, Teamer Battle Rage, Assassin's Trophy. just pass. Well, Lurrus is dead-ish, but there are still some decks that are going to be able to run him, at least main deck. As a companion, he might be nerfed. Like, I still wouldn't be surprised if Burn wants to run him. Baby, I heard it through the grapevine. Opponents drawing gas. I guess we are too. The problem is we just have so many clunky 3-drops. Yep. I think, as much as I don't want to do this, I'm going to grab a Blood Crypt and dismember this, because sure. Drown the Lock's a pretty good one here. Covers us against Lurrus. Thoughtseize, Bolt. Just allow them to take whatever. Really kind of forces them to either take Drown the Lock or Kolagon's Command, maybe Snapcaster Mage. The thing is, I don't think people actually explored... Okay. Kind of figured what I thought they were going to take. Thought Scour is hecka awkward. Trophy, Bolt, TBR, 1 unknown. Alright, well, let's do this because we need to hit a land drop. So mill over 2 lands. I am going to go ahead and run over Death Shadow. Run out Death Shadow. If they wish to trophy it, I am perfectly accepting of them taking their entire turn and giving me a land. Okay, they have Dismember, sure. Both decks being extremely awkward, so stuck on 2 lands. It's gonna run up Snapcaster Mage as a blocker here. Or not a blocker, as an attacker. Sure. Opponent's got all the removal spells. many 3-drops can you draw? Answer the Daily Devil. Deedly, 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 deedly. Still no reason to Thoughtseize right now. Yeah, that's a problem. That is a problem. So if I thought C's were dead, because they just bolt us in response, I guess I stand pat and do nothing? Stub this and pretend we have something. I was just going to go for it though, so we're probably dead. Or they can just, draw another land. Yep. Well, I think we were massively ahead in that game if we ever drew lands. So, kind of frustrating, right? I don't know if these Kolaghan's commands are actually worth it in this matchup. Well, guess we keep the all removal spell hand. Hopefully we draw lands. It's a lot of Mishra's baubles. Sure. Shock that in. Go. Okie dokie. Sure. Link Dust is such an annoying card. We got an angler. Might be a ways off from casting that one, though. Is their opponent's first move really going to be Lurrus? Does indeed seem like that is their first move. That's a lot of Mistress Baubles. Awkward. So our opponent's hand's probably all answers, and our hands likewise all answers. Really? That's annoying. It's possible I should have played life for that so I could get the Death Shadow out here. Alright, War Dog. Sleep well, man. What the freaking... If I get blown out by Cling to Dust, I'm not going to be a very happy camper, but I fully expect it here. Alright. How many times could you kill the Lurrus if you could kill the Lurrus? Pass turn. Yeah, definitely the more I'm seeing like these stupid Lurrus Bauble decks, like how hard they've been pushed to the limit, I think the more it's just gotta go. Sure. Do I just let this happen? I think the answer is yes. Could get blown out if they have like a Nile spell bomb or something here. Swift Spear. Four mana? The heck is this? Magmatic Explosion? Cling to Dust. So target card. Sure. Don't care. Guess we're about to find out how this interaction works. And I'm dead. Alright, one final match for tonight. That's just, I don't know. It's frustrating losing to a deck that you know in a day isn't going to be a deck. But such is life. So I thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Been a pretty good stream overall. Lots of fun, lots of close games. At one point we were at 21 viewers a couple different times. I think we're chilling at 14, which is kind of nice. But, yeah. But a lot of insane matches. Blue-white control, blue-red control. Jund with Swift Spear, Lurrus Death Shadow. What was the fourth match? Oh, Urza stuff. Urza Thopter Sword. I think Space Marine always made the point that I really play well with this deck. The only problem I have with, like, taking this deck into, say, a premier level event is the fact of the sheer amount of thinking you have to do is kind of insane. So, like, I think the game actions and the thought process you have to put into this deck might even be more than control decks half the time. Second rat. MTG. Luck. Gonna play. Hopefully they are not on a companion, but it looks like they are. Of course they're a Lurrus deck. Sign me shocked. Play this pass. I think we're set up for a turn 2 angler. Temple Garden, shock, and pass. Main deck Veil of Summer? Question mark. Guess they could have Path to Exile. Show me Path. Okay, so you just shocked in for no real reason. In fact, gotcha. In fact, with a really weird ass draw. Okay. Sure. GG easy. All right. Gus seems fine. Drown the locks might be okay. Question mark. Plague engineers pretty reasonable. Kolagon's command maybe. Probably don't want Teamer Battle Rage necessarily. Royal Scion's a little eh. Probably a Veil of Summer. Probably a Brutality matchup. Drown and Lock seems interesting. Just feels like we have too much crap to bring in. Get on a Snapcaster Mage. Street Wraiths are fine because our lift total generally isn't under duress in this matchup. Maybe we're supposed to just not bring in brutalities. Like, sure, they kill their stuff, but at the same time, if I escalate it, it's quite a bad experience for us. Triple Gurmag Angler. Pretty safe to say this one's a mulligan. Guess this hand's alright. Put back a Snapcaster Mage. Really need to find interaction. Yep, turn one Glistener Elf. Serum Visions. Yeah, that's not the card we're looking for here, I don't think. I guess we keep it on top because it is good enough. Gives us some dig, but I don't know. That's not a card that's like screams, I want it in this situation. Especially since our opponent's just kind of going for broke here. We have to stub here or we're just dead. Nice try. Just went for the quick kill and got blown out. It's a concession. Yep, that's a concession lockup. Alright, so old school GDS put a heck of a fight up against Death Shadow variant. I think the only thing different I could have done would have been to leave my Death Shadow to die, and then I would have had Stubborn Denial up for the bolt that killed us. Granted, our opponents necessitated draws had to be perfect, and they had it, so that's the only thing that could have kept us from a 5-0. So we beat 2 Lurrus decks, and then we beat 3 decks that'll be potentially part of the meta moving forward, including 2 control decks. Not sure this build's like completely optimum, but it's a lot of fun, you know. So, I don't know if it's correct not to be running the some number of bolts. I don't know if it's correct to be running 2 Royal Scions in the 75, how many TBRs, how many etceteras we're supposed to run, but, you know, that's a matter for another day and another time. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Pretty solid run. I think both this and the Jund list we ran last night, although we didn't have as good a result last night, both are pretty good starting points for decks moving forward. So, thanks for hanging out, everyone, tonight. This has been John for MTG Nexus. Hope everybody has a great night.